Alright, let's see. Testing. Alright, let's see. Testing. Alright, let's see. We are live. Let's go. I think we are going to continue playing Drawin's Paradox and let's see how it goes. Let me see. WW. We are having an amazing day. We are live. We are back. Let's set up some stuff and then we are good to play. Wow, hello. How are we doing? What's cooking, Blahu? What's their day? Anything new happened? Anything interesting happened? Let me know. Good, nice. Nothing impressed as usual, I see. What about you? I'm pretty alright. Pretty much the normal day for me too. Normal day. Damn. How's the climate over there? Super hot here. வெயில் கொளுத்துகிறது என்ன செய்வது? Mid? What do you mean mid? You mean the climate? Here is just hot as hell. Something yes. I had lunch. I had a coffee. I had everything I need. Everything I need. Yeah, climate is mid. Super hot here though. Insanely hot. W. I mean, if the game's not too loud, I could reduce Karo. Yesterday we had a event, we were playing every game today. So title mattered. They were thrash out. Yesterday I just freaking patched out. Not a good idea. Not in this game though. It was a completely different topic. Well, let's continue video game. Oh no. PVK need more analysis to get CM? Yeah. I think he needs 5 more or something. I think he will make it. Probably. Let's hope. Beautiful Jari mode bola? What do you mean? Not exactly though. What about you? Oh shit, the son of a bitch has a Coming back again. Jesus! The days are going to be harder. They will form an alliance, DMK, ADMK. No shot, man. That's basically political suicide. The whole existence of ADMK is just to oppose BMK. And if they join, they are cooked. I don't know why the hell this game is so hard like this. Jesus, this guy is relentless. Okay, he's dead. Good. Fuck you. I mean, that is MGF's legacy, right? அதிமுக அதிமுகலாம் போய் திமுகல சேர்ந்தா தமிழ்லயே பேசலாம். அதிமுகலாம் திமுகல போய் சேர்ந்ததுன்னா கதை முடிஞ்சது. அதிமுக மொத்தம் அழிஞ்சிடும். அப்போ பிஜேபி வந்துடாது. அதுவும் இல்லாமல் 2 ஆப்ஷன் வைக்க பாருங்க, 2 பிரச்சனை இருக்குது. ஒன்னே அதிமுக வந்து திமுகவுடைய எதிரி. 2 ப்ராப்ளம் இங்கே நான் கவுன்சின்னா தெரியும். திமுகனுடைய எதிரி அதிமுக. அது அதிமுகனுடைய மொத்த கட்டமைப்பே திமுக எதிர்க்க மாதிரி தானே இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி திமுகனோட எதிர்ப்பு பிஜேபி. ஆனால் பிஜேபி அதிமுகவில் இருக்கு. இப்போ அதிமுக திமுகவில் போய் சேர்ந்தா என்னது இது? மூஞ்சி போச்சுக்காதா? அப்போ திமுகவும் துபாக்கு உருவாயிடும், அதிமுகவும் துபாக்கு உருவாயிடும். ஏன்னா இவன் மொத்த அரசியலவே என்ன பண்ணான்னா, நான் பிஜேபி எதிர்ப்போம்னா அதிமுக ஊரறிஞ்சு நாடறிஞ்சு உண்மை பிஜேபி சொம்படிக்க முட்டை கொடுக்குற கட்சின்ட்டு நீ எப்படி போய் சேரும்? நீன இதுக்கு இதையும் மீறி வைக்காமே இல்லாம காசு பதவி பத்துன்னு சேர்ந்தானுங்கன்னா மக்கள் என்ன பண்ணும் நீங்களே யோசிச்சுவான். I mean, I kind of similar too, but no shot, man. That's a suicide. Like that, I was deep inside the ocean. Where the fuck there is so many traps inside here? Serapagate if I had true. Mare on the Sani adiyo. What the Sani Makadi want like a mare on the dio? That's all my mom's there. கடவுளே. ஆனால் வந்து அதிமுக இது வரையும் ஒரு ஆட்சி 2 ஆட்சி இப்படி தொடர்ந்து தோத்துதுன்னா அந்த கட்சி நிற்குமானே சந்தேகம் தான். This game is அஜித்தே கடவுளே. Why Ajit? I mean, Ajit actually supported it. Do we support? Did he support PDK? So it makes no sense for him to just support ADMK. Oh my god. Jesus, this game is hard. I don't know what, and I think the camera is not good. They just zoom out so much, which is weird. Like the lighting in the camera is not good. Is it gonna get reduced or what? Yo, thank you for the redeem. நிறைய பிரச்சனை இருக்குல்ல. என்ன கேட்டீங்கன்னா ஸ்லீப்பர் செல்ஸ் வேணா அனுப்புவானுங்க திமுகலேருந்து. திமுகலேருந்தோ அதிமுகலேருந்தோ விஜய் கட்சிக்கிட்டோ உள்ளே போய் அவன் குழப்பறதுக்கு எடுக்கிறது. பார்ப்போம் என்ன தான் நடக்குதுன்னு பார்ப்போமே. தொங்கு சட்டமன்றம் விட மாட்டானுங்க. கவர்னர் ஆச்சுன்னா வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு கம்மி. I have no fucking clue what to do there. Maybe சந்தேகம் தான், பார்ப்போம். Most of this cine industry were supported at UVK. Cine industry? Srimadura? When I Jason was either somebody, அவன் அவனுக்கு அடிக்கும். இந்த சிவராத்திரி ஏறுகிறானே மாரடிக்கிறனா ஏன் காசு பார்த்தோன்னு திமுக மாடியில் எந்த படம் அது பேர் என்ன? ஏதோ ஒரு கீரா படம் ஒன்று நினச்சிட்டேன். கான்ஃபிடன்ட்கா இருங்க. என்ன படம் அது? என்ன படம் பேரே மறந்துச்சு. பராசக்தியா என்ன சக்தியா நடிகல வெக்கமே இல்லாம அவர் அப்பர் பேர சப்போர்ட் பழமா இருந்தாருன்னு நடிக்க மாட்டேன்னு சொல்ல வேண்டியதானா? நான் அவர்கிட்ட இல்லாத காசு அவனுங்க பராசை பிடிச்சோம். வீணா நடிச்சு பேரை கெடுத்துக்கமா. ஆமாம் ஜனநாயகனுக்கு ஆப்போசிட்டா ஜனநாயகம் படம் இன்னும் வெளில வர. ஆனால் அது வெளில வராதது நல்லது தெரியுமா? ஏன்னா அதில் அவன் விஜய் வேலை பார்த்து வச்சுருந்தாரு தலைவரை. பிவிகே பச்சை கொத்தி இருந்தார். அவர் பேரே பிவிகே தான் அந்த படத்தில். அதெல்லாம் எல்லாத்தையும் சென்சார் பண்ணியிருப்பேனே. அது லீக் ஆனதே நல்லது. ஏன்னா மக்கள் வந்து அன்சன்ட் ஹர்ட் வெர்ஷனு ஃபுல் படத்தையும் சென்சாரே எல்லாம் பார்க்க முடிஞ்சதில்ல. அது ஸ்மார்ட் ஐடியா தான். Yeah, make it up. Dude, that thing is just extended all the way here. They just fucking troll you. But they get trolls here so much. SJ, hello. Ouch. Gee, that allowed the spawn killy. Hello again, cute. Hello, is it? How are you doing? How's the day? Dude, I did not. This game is actually pretty difficult, man. Maybe I just committed that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember I even dying cupboard this much. This game is actually harder than a cupboard, at least for me. See, they just get your ass wherever you stand. You fucking Christ. thought everything you're nice, Platilla. Okay. Who knows விஜய் கூட லீக் பண்ணியிருக்கான் கண்டிப்பா அது எப்படி அது ப்ரொடியூசர் கிட்ட இருக்கோம் அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு 4-5 பேர் கிட்ட இருப்போம் அவ்வளோதான் படம் ரிலீஸ் ஆகிறதுக்கு முன்னாடி இந்த காப்பி மொத்த படத்தையும் ஆனால் தெளிவாக கிளியர் பிரிண்ட் அளவுக்கு ரிலீஸ் பண்ணுற அளவுக்கு நம்ம ஊரா தமிழ் ராக்கர்ஸ்டிபியாக இருக்க போகுது அதான் நியூமா கதை வேணும்னே தான் ரிவ்யூ பண்ணிடுறேன் நான் அதுவும் கரெக்டாக எலெக்ஷனுக்கு முன்னாடி லீக் ஆகுது அவங்களுக்கு படம் எல்லாம் பிளானு இல்லை அது ஐடியா கொடுத்து இருக்கலாம் இல்லை அது ஐடியா கூட இருக்கலாம் அதான் வாட் வேற அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட்ல கண்ணா நான் 30 நாள் தமிழிஷு இப்போ எனக்கு தான் இங்கே தமிழை வந்து இங்கிலீஷில் அச்சாலாம் படிக்க தெரியாது எங்கேயா சாம்பிள் எலெக்ஷன் வந்தால் வேஸ்ட் ஆகிடுமே பண்ணிடலாம் இஃப் நாட் இஃப் ஐ எம் நாட் லாங் வேஸ்ட் ஆகாமல் பண்ணிடலாம் வாய்ப்பு இருக்கு பாபா தானே மினிஃபிலேஷன் தான் அது என் படத்தை முடக்கிட்டாங்க திமுக வேற முடக்கினா என் படத்தை அதையே அப்படி தானே கட்டுப்பேன் Holy Christ. This guy is the smartest motherfucker in this world. He can ride an alien suit with no problem. Kind of funny. Naveen, have a look. What are you doing, Naveen? Long time no see. Welcome, welcome. Now, man, do you have any funds in IT field? No. I mean, I had one fan, but they are pretty busy though. They're also a streamer. They streamed. Why? Dude, this thing has a momentum, dude. I cannot control this very well. Why do you have to fuck me like this? Jesus. I'm an ID too? Yeah, Rahul, Naveen is in ID. Can you contact them in YouTube if you want something? They're in YouTube chat. I want to get a wave to enter the field? Filed? And I feel I see. No, what's up? Because yes. I guess he is gone, I see. And can catch him next time. Seen our Discord server? I think he may be. I'm not sure. They have different names in the Discord. Naveen, are you here? Can you hear me, Naveen? Dude, the moment I'm in this, like, a robot is fucking cancer. Just to miss it. Ah, no. Nanachi? What? What? How I got hit? Where Davis can flop down on PC. I see. Oh, he just put me in there. Okay. Polachi Bome Porte. Wow. Okay. Tell me your IT field of those channel name. Check it out. It's called a one low key. The one low key, you know that? Know them? They speak Tamil too. They have Tamil. One low key. It's the one low key. The one low key. PHE. Woyami. Kelwo KI. Loki, not key. LOKI, Loki. You know from Thor movie. Avengers movie, Loki, that Loki. Potato, hello. How are you doing? How's your day? Hope you're doing good. We are playing Darwin's Paradox. And I think I am stuck. Horrible? Bam, hope it gets better. Take it easy, I didn't have to open my leg. Jesus. Hope it's not too bad, man. Hope it get better soon. Hope you have a better medication. Everything you need. Sounds rough. Damn, wait, I've been. Oh, I already did that. Wala niya YouTube to lagi comes up in Twitch. Chaya let's search it on Twitch. Did their channel or something? I mean, they are a pretty busy person, so. What if I do that? No working for a few days? Damn, that sounds rough. Sounds on to followers? Probably. Do they have like a cartoon Loki figure? What profile picture they have? I didn't see the screen. Let me show it to you. Being here is better to just show. No, also a while. Finally. Damn. Hope you get a speedy recovery, friend. Get better soon. Sound wonderful. Yeah, this one. What? Yeah. I suppose I think they are well versed in IT field. At least they said something about that. Oh, well, good to see you. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, gotcha. Okay. We are playing this octopus game and it's pretty hard. Like, I think it's harder than Cuphead for some reason. At least it requires very thanks, Alyssa. No problem. You're welcome. Like you need somewhere timing? I kind of wanted to play another game, but I never able to remember its name. I saw like a trailer. You play like an abomination and you have like a field hero or something like that. Its name, I think. Like you play like a weird goop. Like a weird, what do you call it? Flesh monster. And then it's like a platformer like this. And if I remember it right, the voice ending for that was Rick and Morty's Morty. You know, do you guys remember that name? I would try that too. I kinda wanna play something different. I'm so tired of the modern games. I mean, this one is different enough. It's pretty fun. I wish they had some kind of boss fight. Ooh, but it has a momentum, this robot. It's kind of a bitch to use. Like control, that's what I mean. See, fuck this play, fuck this robot. Like that momentum, you cannot break it. Like I wish I could break. Oh, you can break it. I mean, it's not exactly a break, but you can cheese it. Ari? Man. That is, yeah, no, you cannot really break that fucking thing. Gotta go. See you in the next stream. No problem. Thank you for dropping by, Rahul. See you soon. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh. And there we go. You do. So much precision. This game requires so much precision and timing. But I think I am having fun. Even though I do die like how many times now? Pretty much I die to every trap in this game. At least once. Minimum. Uh-oh. Alright, we are back in business. See? That's what I mean. Okay. What do I need to do here? Wow. I get a forgot I can camouflage. We got a camouflage feature. See? What? Oh my god. Jesus. I miss the timey. You were serious a little? I think they changed the stance too. That's what I think. If he just catches me on guard. Son of a bitch. They just changed the shit as soon as you move past though. Good lord. Oh. Oh. Ah, damn. I don't think I can beat the old lockout. I think I did. GG. Let's go, W. In record time. Oh, I think I got the first place. Oh. I think it was like 3 minutes or so, right? Damn, I die if I touch that thing? Son of a bitch. I didn't expect that. Okay. Patience, patience, patience. This game requires so much patience. Deteriora. or eat a dick. That you think Dark Souls kills you? Do watch. Look at this shit. Good lord. So the Kung Fu. John Lee. We got John Lee over here. Teaching us Kung Fu. Let's go. The Lieutenant Kung Fu, just punch him in the dick. And I kinda like the creative aspect of this game. It is pretty creative. You know, they kinda have some brain for. Highly recommended for just for that. I don't know how we got caught, but okay. Whoa. Oh, I think I killed them all. What the fuck just killed me? What? What happened? It's so weird. I think the camera janked out and then I got hit. With where the mask most likely. God, I looked at yeah. Looks like it. I didn't even know why we did that. There's a creepy but also cool, yep. Jesus. I am a magnet for death. Am I someone who enjoys exploring creatures of ocean? Am I someone? I mean, there are so many Subnautica games and other games you can play that is funny. Oh, that's our friend. Oh shit. It's cool. Green button? Where? Oh, yeah. Okay. I didn't pay attention. Where do they sound like minions? You need yellow. Okay. Think I got it. Yellow.
Yeah, this is big brain time.
Nice. Nice. Peppa, let's go. He's gone. Neat. Oh. Oh no, I don't like this. I know what's gonna come. Yep, that it is, son of a bitch. I don't know though. Am I supposed to go right or left? I think I have to go right. Oh my god, I've been expecting him to come from that direction. Lani, hello. How are you doing? What's the day, Lani? It's not actually following the road that I am using, it's actually behind me. I am playing a 2-dimensional game and that guy is playing a 3D game. Yeah, see that light? The direction is coming from? Splitting the area. I mean, it actually has an answer where they do my character, but it's not bad review. It's predictable. Pick. Think I have to go to the right side. Heck. Got him. Why thought we a monster? Damn. Maybe you'll be the one who fucked everything up. I thought I could jump. Hey, there are some people that are alive. Alien people. Okay. Drawin. I think I got it. Curious again. Oh. Stick. Motherfucker. Is it like a studio or something? And what am I looking at here? Oh yeah, start sending me buildings. Yeah, that looks like a weird studio. Okay. What do I do here? Damn nice. Okay, let me guess. Just my theory. Alien invaded our Earth. Arda was their Empire base, and then we saved. True, pretty much. They are using mind control to control the humans, and one of our friends got kidnapped. Friends or lover, I have no fucking idea. Or maybe it's just our mom. I don't know what kind of relationship they got. So we are here to save them. Oh, but in the process we are killing the aliens too. Movies and propaganda are universal. That we are the movie studio now. Is he like the ultimate pair? Is that a fucking... Oh my god! It is the fucking alien Hitler. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck, yo? And then guess what? He just self-destructed everything. No shit. Dude, go on with some other villain, dude. Come on, but yeah, Hitler wasn't gotten played out so much. Pretty sure his bone became fucking dust. Oh, is that a boss fight? Hell yeah. When more like I'm running from the boss fight. Oh no, not these things. Oh, you fucker. Yeah, fuck you, here's a clap. Lock in! Yeah. So doors. Oh shit, that lock could just do you. Okay. Dude, I can barely see that, dude. It's so dark. Can you see the rocks that's just coming down? Super dark, yeah. Can I increase the brightness? I want to check. Oh, we can. I think that should be better. Much better, yeah. Wait, what? I couldn't even see jack shit. Did I just jack? I died with a shark wave. Good lord. Give me a break, dude. Come on. Tata audio. GG. Uh-oh. What? What the fuck? What is that ending? Hello? Okay, this is the end of the club bag, girl. Look at that. Alright, I'm gonna check if that is multiple endings or not. Maybe I just got the bad ending. That is a weird, I mean, yeah. I think the game is good, like it was very creative, but they used like a filter, like the depth of field filter they used was so annoying to deal with, and then the camera is so zoomed out. You know, you like imagine playing this game in like a 1440p or a big monitor game. A big monitor screen, you can barely see the guy. Like he's so small. I wish he was bigger. You know, even if you zoom out, you can make the character bigger according to the camera size. You know, our dude is super smart to see. Yo, Kodara, thank you for the big emote. And it's relatively a short game. It's not that long. And the ending is just a cliffhanger. I guess they wanted to make another part for this game, or maybe they just ran out of development time. It feels very cliffhangery. Herbs there. Every single billionaire is evil. I could watch that. The song's interesting. Oh, it has a demo. Great. Check out the demo, see if you like it. Alright, if you like it. Buy the game. Yeah, that's pretty much the ending. Yeah, we'll look at that, pretty much. What is the week ending? 20,000 Steam missions ready. Oops, that's too low though. 20,000 will just run out of like peanuts. We got our Hitler with the alien Hitler. This is AI generated. Pretty good though. I would click on this. The cinematic have good. It's very short game. Look at that walkthrough. Dude just finished the fucking game in 3 hours. Very, very short game. I think if you can get it like 10-15 bucks, probably worth the deal. I think this game will probably go for that price. So how many chapters we got? We got a bunch. It shows us a lot, but not many though. There are a decent good amount of puzzles. I think it's great. How much I wanna rate? Very short. You die a freaking lot in this game. It is pretty difficult. Sneaky snake. I think I can give it a 7. And at video time. So my assumption in this is why every single billionaire is evil is because the system itself is structured in a way you have to play that game, otherwise you won't have that capacity to compete. Because if you are being not greedy, what if another greedy motherfucker comes into that competition and then you will get bankruptcy, you will get cooked. So everybody has to be greedy bitches. So unless you just fundamentally change the system with the help of the government or something, like every billionaire is gonna be a billionaire, they're gonna be a trillionaire. I mean, that's how it is.
Jobs and innovate.
Do billionaires create jobs? The answer is no.
They make people happy and they're inspirational. They're something to aspire to. But once you peel back the PR, you find that every single one is some sort of predator in a philanthropic mask. See, when you're a billionaire, you can do what you want. And that is a problem. There are obviously billionaires who are less than nice, to say the least, whether it's harvesting your private data, harvesting your piss in bottles. Wait, nope. Forcing employees to piss in bottles rather than take a bathroom break, union busting, wage theft, full-on tax evasion, owning and operating special private islands. That seems
Today
relevant
you've
right
spin
now.
files.
Or pretty much anything else you can think of. Not great. But what about the goody two-shoes? Like the ones who are just good investors, or singers turned billionaires, or smart people who made software that changed.
Good example for that is Michael Jackson. I don't think he basically gave everything to the public, right? Like I don't know what he did,
the
but
world. How are they evil?
I definitely know his sons or his other next generation is that rich already. They just were completely disappeared from the face of the map.
Well, they're all running the same scam, just not maybe as blatantly as others. So let's expose what makes every billionaire evil by definition so that people can stop defending them and licking the mud off of their boots on the interwebs and my comment section.
I mean, think about it like you are playing Elden Ring. If everybody is using rivers of blood in Elden Ring and one-shotting the boss, and then if you're going inside into the boss fight with a dagger, you are the fucking idiot. Weirdo. That's pretty much the logic here, Bill. You have to be a thief amongst the thieves. Otherwise, you are the one who's gonna get robbed.
See, in my last video, I received a bunch of awesome comments. Thanks for that. And then there were some other people who really liked what I had to say up until I called out.
The people who defend capitalism, here's my honest opinion, honest truth to you. People who defend capitalism are the ones that are getting benefits from them. Normal people don't exactly defend capitalism because unless they are brainwashed, most people are like that. But if you really think about it, it doesn't really help you in any way possible. Like it's actively working against you, straight up. That doesn't mean these should be destroyed or get taken over by government because there will be consequences for that and that the innovation will die. So you have to find a balance on, it's like a golden goose, but a golden egg goose. So instead of killing the goose to take the golden egg, you just let it live, let it live, and then you take the golden egg from it bit by bit. That's how you have to deal with these billion-dollar companies. Instead of just splitting them open and then try to see how many golden eggs they got. You see how that logic works? So you cannot kill it completely, but at the same time, you cannot fatten it up.
All billionaires as evil. They felt quite the opposite. So are billionaires the good guys or the bad guys? As usual, when it comes to money, it's complicated. But by the end of this video, I'll unpack all of this for you so that you have a better understanding of how every billionaire is evil. You'll learn how billionaires game the system to amass huge fortunes and then manage to keep most of it for themselves, all while positioning themselves as generous philanthropists, which convinces people that they're great, inspiring people, and how dare I call them evil? Chapter 1. While some might have worked hard to get where they are, and often have done at least some good here and there, it's impossible to get to a net worth of over $1 billion without exploitation, backstabbing, aggressively taking out competitors, and other evil doings. And many times the ones suffering at their hands are you. Yeah, you watching the video right now, even if you're not an overworked, underpaid Amazon worker or something like that. But more on that in a bit, in order to understand why billionaires are evil and not just
how them being a billionaire affects you. Let me give you a good example. So imagine if you're building a PC like from 10 years ago, and then imagine it right now. You're welcome. There we go. Easiest example for you to understand. Try going outside Go into a Best Buy or Walmart and get a RAM. You will know how they fuck you up.
Bad people. We need to know the difference between
Oh, you don't need computers. Oh, it's just a luxury. Okay, what about phones? Do you know how much phones cost these days because of the RAM shortage? Yeah. It does affect you, dude. What about the price of the egg? What about the price of the milk? Everything is fucking expensive these days.
the term
It affects you every possible way you can think of. Oil prices, commodities, goods, everything you use.
terms bad and evil, of course. I mean, that's where we're starting, so let's do it. Bad generally describes something unpleasant, disappointing, or lacking in quality, which is, yeah, billionaires. The word evil, on the other hand, suggests a malicious or wicked intention, often causing significant harm or suffering. What? You don't think billionaires have malicious intentions? You don't think billionaires cause significant harm and suffering? Really? Oh, sweet summer child. That's so cute. Every billionaire, without exception, is built on a mountain of exploitation, lies, and often theft and human suffering. If you still don't think so by the end of this video, let me know in the comments. But back up your claims this time with facts. Let's get this straight. Philanthropy can be good.
I mean, the American capitalism system itself is made by like that. You cannot blame the players for a shitty system, no? Like imagine this, like everybody is like that in this kind of business-oriented minded people. Like, you have to change the system itself in order to deteriorate being a greedy pig. These companies are straight up greedy pigs.
Ish.
They won't look the part, but their brains are like that.
But most of the time, it just isn't. And it shouldn't even be needed in the first place. And this is related to taxes, so hold on for a moment. The laws and policies that structure charitable giving and philanthropy in the world.
Dude, the sheer fact that the tax cut that applies to the billion-dollar company is a fucking joke. American fucking law and the things they pass over that are freaking hilarious, dude. So they had a tax cut. So if you open a small grocery shop, you will get the same tax cut. But if you're Nvidia or freaking Google, you will get the same tax cut. What the fuck?
Today,
That is so stupid. Even a child could figure it out better. Billion-dollar companies need more taxes.
Interests of wealthy individuals rather than those who are actually in need. Philanthropy can have an important effect on society, but it doesn't do very much to solve the root cause of any of the problems that it's trying to solve. In his book, Just Giving, Why Philanthropy is Failing Democracy and How It Can Do Better, Rob Reich states, while a soup kitchen can feed the hungry, a church can shelter the homeless, and a nonprofit can teach children how to read, without changes in public policy, problems like hunger, homelessness, and illiteracy will continue to exist. So the fact that billionaires get good PR for having avoided taxes by selectively and slowly sharing their wealth with organizations through tax-deductible donations to those who they deem to be a good fit for their public perception is a problem in plain sight. Why? Because it's not up to single individuals to decide.
Like, it's interesting how systematically America is built upon capitalism. Like, their politics itself is they're just a puppet for capitalism, if you think about it. Because the companies can literally fund the campaign. Like, what the fuck is that? You might as well let a freaking Jensen run the freaking America. Why do you need a Tom for it? You know? At least you started with, at least Jensen would be smart enough to not bomb Iran and then increase the oil prices.
Gets what? Because that's what the...
And then fuck the whole world in the process. You know, many hotels here, many people lost their livelihood because Trump can't sit around and then doesn't have the balls to publish the Epstein files, so he has to distract people with this Iran-Iraq war. And then many people, many hotels in India got shut down because of that. Fuck that
taxes
guy.
and government
Moron.
agencies are for. We wouldn't need philanthropy if billionaires paid their fair share back into society. Not through anything new, but through something quite old. Still taxes, just like the rest of us. Healthy governments are there to be supportive of the public good.
I think the problem with the people who really fucking hate taxes or are really afraid of it is just you are not getting any benefits from it. Like if you get the good benefits from your taxes, like more people will be willing to pay taxes. That is the problem. Yeah. Like if the taxes, the money they pay is just literally working for them, that would be, it feels, taxes should be more like an investment. Instead of just you pissing your earnings away. That's how the current tax system right now in this world feels like. You know? You don't feel like you are supporting the country or you are investing on your country. It feels like you are just losing money. The time when that changes, I think everything will change. What do you guys think?
Current corrupt administration of the United States would have you believe otherwise. But for the most part, governments are there for public good and to hold powerful people and corporations accountable. In contrast, privatization benefits the wealthy and oppresses the poor 100% of the time. And yeah, sometimes the oppression isn't as bad, so it's seen as good, but
as bad. In China, they literally have to come up with the fences in the friggin' industry so people doesn't jump from the top floor and then kill themselves. That is the result of capitalism.
I'll let you figure out why that's a bad thing. Now, before we continue the video, I would love to clarify my stance a little bit. I'm against the extraordinary and unimaginably unequal distribution of wealth that should have never been allowed to happen in the first place. We should be looking for ways to correct this. We shouldn't be content that occasionally one of the benefactors of the system decides to give some of it back to the peasants. And for those in the comments who have been saying, and probably will continue to say, that I'm jealous. No, I am not. But having literally spent a month of my life filming a documentary about sustainable aid solutions in Malawi, Africa in 2012, and seeing just how...
Okay, if people are jealous, that means they are greedy. But you can use that same logic. It's a human instinct, dude. Even if this guy is jealous, the things he is saying is right. Like in America, the whole economy is just by like 10 billionaires over there. Yeah, like top 10% of the people have 90% of the wealth in America right now. 90 or 60, I think. 60% of the wealth, not 90. 90 would be, you would be doomed if that happens. 60% of the Americans' money, all of the money, like every money that's possible they printed, was belonged to the top 10%. What about the West? They are barely living from paycheck to paycheck.
How unequitable the world is.
That would suck big.
I want less suffering in the world. I want people to be able to live full.
It's kind of funny how people haven't figured this out yet.
To their communities and society at large. But that's kind of hard to do if billionaires are constantly finding all of the loopholes in existence to avoid taxation. Like how the United States IRS records show billionaires use trusts that let them pass fortunes to their heirs without paying estate taxes. This costs the Treasury untold billions of dollars. But more on that tax avoidance later, and the loopholes that exist because billionaires make sure that they're there. So you have people like Bill Gates, whose foundation invests in literal private prisons and big pharma. The Waltons of Walmart keep wages so low that it is not uncommon for employees to rely on taxpayer-funded programs like food stamps, effectively subsidizing the company's business model. If your employees aren't able to put food on the table, your business model is just corporate welfare, people. So yeah, those are pretty evil things. And what does that make all billionaires? Say it with me. Evil! Yay! So no, billionaires' philanthropy isn't charity. It's just reputation laundering. These nice billionaires profit from the same exploitation as Musk and Bezos. The billions of dollars of taxpayer money that's paid by the 99%, so that the thousands of your hard-earned dollars deducted from your paycheck every month have helped and continue to help fuel these billionaires' businesses in the form of the very government handouts that they are against the 99% having. All of those corporate welfare handouts and your labor built their wealth, and in return, you get some crumbs, and you have to pay proportionally more taxes compared to your billionaire kings, by the way. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of it, but we're gonna get into it a little bit later. Their generosity is a tax shelter that protects their dynasties. You pay for it. That's what I'm on about here. Like, this goes a lot deeper. This isn't some Marxist thing or communism. What I'm talking about here actually happened in the United States of America in the biggest economic boom.
It's kind of how we came to see how American people has a fucking name. You guys are really good at name calling, dude. But holy shit. What the fuck is a Marxist? I'm pretty sure I didn't think my language even had a word for that. Good lord.
Ever, when billionaires were taxed over 90%.
Jesus, so good at name calling. It was so good.
Before we get into that, though, we have a few other things to cover. Like, I've also got to say this right at the top here. A lot of these
like I said, bleed the pig enough so the people can survive. Don't kill the pig. That's what I give that advice.
Wouldn't be billionaires if it weren't for public infrastructure to begin with. From the taxpayer dollars that funded the development and creation of the literal internet to the geographic infrastructure like roads and highways, rails, postal grids, and more. They are all paid for by the taxes that they're so keen to avoid. The defenders of billionaires.
I think it's about like the government is just taking the taxpayer dollars and then giving them to NVIDIA and anything like that. Maybe they do, I don't know. I think they did it with Intel recently. It's just they're evading the taxes. You gotta come up with something that give them more harder than that department. Like they like the share market thing they're doing with their monopoly money. You gotta tax that accordingly instead of just what do you got?
So often that I sometimes think that billionaires pay into some sort of bot army subscription that targets people who even remotely talk anywhere close to badly about them. Anyway, these people, or bots, or whatever, argue that the billionaires deserve wealth because they add so much to society, like job creation. Amazon actually does employ a lot of people, over 1.5 million people around the world. Or Walmart, with its over 2 million employees around the world. But are those jobs really new or just shifted from the thousands of small retailers that have since gone out of business during Amazon's rise to dominance? Or when Walmart comes to town and wipes out every other small business, often destroying towns in the long run? While there's no way to exactly assign the amount of blame to the other company's demise, there is no doubt that huge companies like Amazon and Walmart steal customers away from smaller companies. Companies that make towns run, the family-owned businesses. We've all heard that before, but it's the real deal. So when people say employ, what are they really meaning? Just shifting from a small business to massive conglomerates? And whether you're a billionaire business owner or a billionaire hedge fund manager, the easiest way to make money is to ensure that you're hiring as few people as possible at the lowest wages possible. So really, is that a good argument for billionaires? I mean, I don't think so.
That's not exactly the thing you should be focusing on first. Maybe you should try to come up with a better product so people are willing to pay good money for it. What is this? The cheesy, easy way out to do it? So cringe. How would you come up with a better product? iPhone did it.
While we're talking about one end of the spectrum here, which is super low wages, let's go to the other end of the spectrum because we really need to grasp the enormity and the scale of what a billion is for this whole video to make sense. 1 million seconds is just 12 days. And a billion, with a B, seconds is 31 years. This scale difference is mind-blowing. To put this into perspective, if you worked for every single hour of every single day since Jesus was freaking born and you made $10,000 per hour, you still wouldn't earn what Bezos makes in a single month. Oh my God, it's so bad. This is what people mean by fuck you money. This is an amount that is incomprehensible. And yet, as an Amazon worker who has to pee in a freaking bottle because they can't take breaks, or as Walmart employees who have to rely on food stamps because the pay is so little, according to billionaire bootlickers, billionaires aren't evil. Because what was that definition again? Evil, morally reprehensible, arising from actual or imputed bad character or conduct, causing harm, the fact of suffering or misfortune and wrongdoing, something that brings sorrow, distress, or calamity. Like, I'm not seeing how they're not evil here. I'm not getting how people...
1 billion is 10,000 crore, by the way. Holy shit. I would be certain for my life if I have 1 crore.
People don't like me calling billionaires
just
evil,
one.
because by all definitions, they are. So now that you understand the scale of a billion and how billionaires hoard their wealth while being entirely aware and okay with the working conditions and minimal pay of the employees who make their immense wealth possible in the first place, let's move on to the next chapter. How do these billionaires hide this theft? Meet their favorite trick: buy, borrow, die. While you pay about 30 to 50% of your lifetime income in taxes, billionaires like Musk pay less than 8%. Here's how you do it. Step 1, buy assets or own them. You start a company, you do that. Good job, but here's the next step. Borrow against those assets at, I don't know, let's say 1% interest, because you're wealthy, so you get great interest rates because of your wealth. Step 3, live on tax-free loans, which are absolutely, definitely not income. Why would you even think that, even though you're living on it? But, Shh. Step 4, die. Pass those assets to your heirs with zero or minimal capital gains tax through loopholes designed by the wealthy for the wealthy to preserve wealth at the top, because, of course, they're the ruling class. They're wealthy. They're the ultra wealthy.
Yeah, you pretty much have to be wealthy to be more wealthy too. Like if your grandfather had $10,000 or something, and then he dies and then he gives it to you, I think he can have a head start on this.
I should clarify. A $10 billion loan only costs around $100 million in interest, but selling $10 billion of stock would cost them over $2 billion in taxes. This little borrowing against the stock scheme is legalized theft. It results in them hoarding wealth that could literally fix a lot of the world's problems that we have globally. Instead, they lobby for more wealth hoarding, tax breaks, and unimaginable power. Unimaginable because a lot of this happens behind closed doors at government levels. Yay, lobbying.
I mean, he could get that asset and then use it for good stuff. Like he could buy some homes and then you can rent it in a reasonable pricing. I mean, if you have the will to do it, I think you can do it. But they just want to greed out.
Lobbying, billionaires aren't just rich. They're unelected kings of the modern era. And I say modern era because this is historically a fairly modern issue, at least when it comes to the enormity of this scale of wealth. They spend more on one lobbying effort than you'll earn in 50 lifetimes. This means that the USA is now just an oligarchy, not a democracy. And it's become plainly obvious with the current US administration. That's not the topic of this video, though. In contrast, in, let's say, the Netherlands, individuals can donate to political parties, of course, but there's a limit. Donations are capped at a cumulative maximum of 100,000 euros per year. There are also restrictions on donations from foreign sources, which is significantly different from the United States, where campaign financing is much...
I don't think it in my state, this is not even a thing here. It's interesting how my state India has better political system than half of the world out there, man. I never seen some of these billion-dollar companies invested directly, like openly invested into the politicians. But they do. That's what corruption is. We just straight up call it corruption.
Much more complex. And
they do it in the hush-hush, without in a public knowing. We just straight up call it theft and corruption. And then these guys legalized it. What the fuck?
Influenced by large sums of money, like from super PACs and corporations. So while billions of dollars...
Like that concept is completely... I need to research about that. How the fuck you guys let the politicians to get money from corporate companies? That makes no sense. Like, do you trust a YouTuber that gets sponsored by a company? Like, think it in that logic. Like, imagine a YouTuber is reviewing a product. Like, imagine they are reviewing a laptop or a processor. And then imagine they are getting a free copy or they got sponsored with money. Do you trust their review? I wouldn't.
Circulate the U.S.
That
elections.
eliminating
Dutch
us.
Campaign costs, for example, are limited to a few million euros.
How the fuck do you trust a politician then?
Billionaires are not civic-minded. They're colonizing democracy. Or as Ellie Cordova eloquently puts it,
a budgetary boon for billionaires, or a brutal butchering of benefits for the bottom bracket.
a lot of bees.
Or maybe a blight on the biosphere for our barren buddies' bottom lines. I guess I'm just bedeviled by this blunderbuss of a budget bill which bears the blatant branding of all the back-scratching backdoor billionaire buy-ins that broker tax breaks for big business while ballooning the budget, blowing up bipartisan breakthroughs, and bankrupting the already broke. But hey, you can bet your bottom Bitcoin there'll be a backlash back home for all these billionaire bootlickers, so buckle in, bitch.
Billionaires fund politicians who slash corporate taxes while
Buckle in,
defunding
bitches.
schools. Why? Well, an educated public might start asking questions. Can't have that.
Oh my god, I said that 2 days ago. This is the problem. You guys are fucking dumb because you don't have any education over there.
They might even ask,
But the-
why do we accept a world
No shit. They couldn't even read our other quad. Your students are like that,
where
dude.
just a few men own more than half the planet? Wow, great question. In the 1930s, the world suffered through the Great Depression. Yet, over the next 20 years, the United States essentially birthed a new middle class. Although, you might not know it, there is no middle class. That doesn't exist. There are just two types of people in this world. There are workers and owners. No others. By the 1960s, home ownership was up, at least for white nuclear families. Worker earnings skyrocketed, America's trade union movement was booming, and the rich were forced to share the wealth with the workers, who were the ones creating it in the first place, and still are to this day. Again, this is in the United States of America, and is history, not fiction, and not in some commie country that a lot of naysayers would bring up. And it worked. This massive mid-century labor surge changed the face of the American political landscape. This was the golden age of the middle class. Environmental protection laws, women's rights, and equal rights all flourished when the middle class was empowered. It happened because union-backed lawmakers helped pay for new programs by raising taxes on America's wealthiest individuals. Between 1940 and 1960, the federal tax rate on income in the nation's top tax bracket consistently hovered around 90%. 90. Not like 19, 90%. However, as the wealthy do, the rich began chipping away. In 1963, President John Kennedy, himself the product of one of America's grandest fortunes, asked Congress to drop the nation's top tax rate down to 65%. Quite different from 90. Congress would mostly oblige, and that top tax rate would sink to 70% in 1965. Then in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan and his friends on Capitol Hill would shove that rate down even further, first to 50% and then to 28%. Over the recent decades, Congress after Congress has cut taxes on the richest people and corporations. Billions upon billions of dollars that would otherwise have gone to the federal till for spending that could help
When the taxes are even that amount of low, Like, yeah, I think they are paying like 21% or something like that. It's below 30 these days. And they are still circumventing it and they're not paying it, dude. That is the world we are living in now. Ben, hello, how are you doing?
Get ahead. Just like in that grand era of the 1940s to the 1960s. Obviously, there were tons of other issues going on, but you cannot deny that taxing the rich got a lot of people ahead, aside from just a select few. I mean, even nowadays in 2025, there's only like 3,000 people. When you're saying things against billionaires, you're talking about like 3,000 people. Like, that's not a holistic approach to things. Ugh. After all of this, you might be wondering why Taylor Swift and Oprah are included on my declaration of evil billionaires. And it's because there's a scale of evil. But if you've been listening, the fact that they exist as billionaires in this world of suffering is evil in its own right. But let me remind you of a few things that solidify my stance on this. Taylor Swift profits by selling tickets and merch to blatantly manipulated young fans.
Instead of establishing boundaries with her fans to avoid fostering intense parasocial relationships between Swifties and herself, she cultivates them, kindling the delusional feelings of friendship that her fans have towards her in order to sell concert tickets, albums, and merch.
Tons of artists do the same, but the pretenses are very different.
Taylor's hardcore fans really do believe they are this close to being considered her friends. Taylor has stoked the flames of the parasocial relationship with her and her audience throughout the course of her career, and dare I say, it's evil genius. Remember when she was inviting fans to her home and baking them cookies and letting them listen to the album before anybody else? Just by doing that with a small group of fans, she planted the seed for millions that any day now they could be plucked out of obscurity and become Taylor Swift's friend.
I'm not against selling tickets at all. That's how exchange of currency for services works. I get that. That's fine. But her fans believe that she's just like the middle class. Her songs are about that. And I believed that too until I started doing some digging myself. Anyway, she's not just like the middle class, not like the rest of us. She was raised never knowing what hard times were. See, Taylor Swift is the daughter of a bank president who's descended from a bank president, descended from a bank president, descended from a bank president. That's how many generations of financial tycoons she is from. To
1 billion, she's a billionaire.
To blame themselves for not succeeding and to keep struggling within a system that has failed them is one of the most despicable ways that the ruling class can dominate a population. And that's what she does when she says things like,
I want to say to all the young women out there, there are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame. But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday when you get where you're going, you'll look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you who put you there. And that will be the greatest feeling in the world.
It poisons people's hearts and minds against themselves and prevents them from actually addressing the actual causes and people responsible for society's economic and social problems, because it's often impossible to chase your dreams if the ball of chain of debt, responsibilities, and the ever-increasing cost of living is holding you back and doesn't even let you.
Good luck chasing your dreams when you can barely survive with your paycheck. So, Dottie, you have to toil away.
Time to figure out what
Dude, this chasing your dream is just a myth. That dream died like 50 years ago.
Dream once was. It's like a carrot on the end of a stick that you're chasing while meandering along a treadmill of work, and Tay-Tay says, chase your dreams, guys. That's not how it works. She was not one of us. She didn't know what it was like to struggle with money problems growing up. But there's the guys that she did know that. I'm not saying you shouldn't work hard and that the world owes you something. It doesn't. Success isn't often handed to people. And you do have to work hard. And if you aren't lucky enough to be dealt a great hand in life,
I think this is a bad mentality. The world doesn't owe you something. That is so bullshit. It's a damn week. Jesus. Well, we get better soon, man. I did have some problems with my leg, though. But I have to limp with... Like, I couldn't even touch the floor with my left feet for like 6 months or so. I hope it's not that bad.
You'll have to work even harder. Those who are dealt a great hand with a help.
This world doesn't owe you a thing is just the billionaires say when they just coddled by the economy. I think your government does owe you some protection and at least food. Why the fuck that government exists in the first
Be
place?
stable, rich, educated, safe, and powerful.
You owe your freedom. Like the world owes your freedom to chase your dreams. If it not, just freaking blow up the freaking planet. If the world, if your society, if your government couldn't give you an opportunity to chase your dreams, destroy everything. It doesn't matter.
Powerful family like
cares?
Taylor Swift.
What is the point of living
Just
at
have
that
it
point?
easier compared to the opposite. You can't say otherwise. That's just the truth. And what about Oprah Winfrey? What are her thoughts on taxation? Well, she's always been against taxation, and in 2011, she let that slip out.
The most pain I feel is, my accountants will tell you this, every time I write a check to the IRS.
At the time, her net worth was estimated to be about $2.7 billion. So yeah, not 100 billion or something like that, but over $1 billion. So in this one interview, she's asked a bunch of different
I mean, if you don't want to pay taxes, just use some money and buy accumulate assets and then give that rent the assets to cheaper. What the fuck, dude?
questions.
I know you paying taxes sucks because you don't feel rewarded for it, but
there's the answer
Come
to
on.
one of those questions in particular that sounds impressive at the surface.
You still write all the checks?
I don't write all of them now.
How many do you sign?
I sign all the checks that are over $100,000, and that's a lot
Go on, how many?
of checks. Oh, probably, several hundred.
Of over $100,000 each?
Yeah, it would knock your socks off.
Okay, that's reasonable for a very wealthy person. Okay, to the average person hearing this, that's like, wow, that's amazing. Great job, Oprah. But doing some napkin math here based on her several hundred comment, let's say 200 to 400 of these $100,000 checks comes to about $20 million to $40 million. Again, that's a lot. Let's also assume that some of these checks going out the door are more than $100,000. So we'll double our highest number and then round up to, I don't know, like $100 million, which again seems like a lot. But at that point in time, when she said those words, like I said before, she was worth around $2.7 billion. So that's just 3.7% of her money going back to the tax basis.
she has basically pay peanuts, but she is still mad about it, dude. Jesus. You guys are going straight to the boiler room, don't worry about it. If hell exists, it exists specifically for you.
So the equivalent to this is making
You know, like Jesus himself just looks at you and then he just points you to the boiler room.
$50,000. And when tax time comes, this person pays $1,850 or 3.7% instead of the normal $7,800 or 18% of your earnings, let's say.
Jesus
Is that
Christ.
fair? I don't know. And then you have her saying that.
The most pain I feel is, my accountants will tell you this, every time I write a check to the IRS.
What
it's
a greedy
ceremony.
maiden goblin.
They come in, for years they came in with wine, now they come in with tequila. It's a tequila signing ceremony.
What has been the most painful check you've ever had to write to the IRS? The one that's caused you most
You're
personal
good.
agony.
You're good. You think I'm going to give you the number.
See, these billionaires are on a whole other level from us mere peasants. I don't care if you're a multimillionaire, you're still a peasant compared to them.
We have created the People's Fund of Maui that will put money directly in the hands of the people who need it right now. So if you send a donation, just click where you see below and send a donation.
The number one need is money.
Is money.
In hand.
And so
we're
people
meeting
being
that.
able to have their own agency, being able to make decisions for themselves about what they
Is that
need
Locke?
and what their family needs, that's our goal, is to get that to the people now. And so we appreciate any support that you can give.
You can't defend them because even Oprah can't make her donations and charities sound good compared to how much she's avoiding and giving back to the rest of us and paying her fair share. Now just think of the billionaires who are worth so much more than her in the hundreds and 200s and
I mean, the way you have to phrase it is, you're not giving them just free money to the people you just see in the streets. You give them first so they can have better medical care. You give them so they can have better education. You give them so they can actually have basic needs. You know? If you are not willing to do it in that scenario, then you are evil. Hell is waiting for you. Don't worry.
hundreds and $400 billion.
You know? Like, I don't know what kind of mindset these billionaire people are thinking. I have no idea.
Net worth. Of course, they're all evil. And here you are complaining that the roadways you drive on are full of potholes. You don't think that more taxation on the ultra wealthy wouldn't fix the roads that you drive on? The bridges that are crumbling across America? And what about giving some love to Canadian billionaires?
I think artificial intelligence would play a vital role in politics, dude. I would rather have a cranker up there instead of the RNG fucker over there. You know, cranker doesn't want to steal money from people. At least I hope so. You know, unless it's programmed that way. Because it doesn't need money. What the hell is it going to do with the money? Like, it's literally worthless for it.
Similar vibes as we take after the US in a lot of things, but this would be...
Like, we need to have a leader that is just beyond all this materialism. We need a fucking sage, you know, bring Buddha or Jesus. We need a second. Literally, Jesus needs to be standing for the next presidency.
Be an entire presidency. What I can say is that the Canadian David Thompson, who's chairman of the Thomson Reuters Corporation, is worth around $55 billion and is the 22nd richest person globally. And although Thompson has rarely given interviews to the press and maintains a low public profile, back in 2006, he had a very interesting little tidbit of wisdom from the inside of the business world. The only substantial interview Thompson has given was to James Fitzgerald, who wrote a book about the elite private school, Upper Canada College, they both attended in Toronto.
Yeah, I put this video on July 3rd,
2006 article in the New York Times. In his comments to Mr. Fitzgerald, David had little positive to say about many people in the business world. In the interview, Thompson said, when you try to live a more balanced life, traditional businessmen think that you are not a real man. But who is not the real man? You are telling me you have not taken a weekend with your wife. You have no spare time that you use constructively. You do not have any hobbies. You do not know how to spell Mozart. And here you are telling me that I am weak? I wonder, all these years later, how he feels. Okay, he feels.
Wait, what he said?
I wonder, all these years later, how he feels. Okay. Time for some solutions. We, the 99%, built their wealth, the billionaires' wealth. And we, the 99%, can dismantle it. Kinda. Ish. But we have to, seeing as billionaires will continue to game the system and take advantage of the 99%. Privatizing the gains and socializing the losses, time and time again. See, capitalism isn't perfect. I don't think anything's perfect, but it's what we have right now, and it can be great when properly regulated to ensure a level playing field for all. Labor laws and environmental laws and
there we go,
regulation that makes up a functioning country. The problem is that we're not operating in a regulated capitalist environment. We're living in a rigged capitalistic environment where a handful of companies do not have to follow the rules. But you, the little guy, You have to follow the rules. Billionaires buy politicians to ensure they always win, and you always lose. That's not fair. That's evil. But people have to stop bowing down just to worship and lick that off of billionaires' boots. Like, I'm still amazed at how many people hit up my comment section in the last video in order to defend billionaires. You think you're gonna become one? No, you're not. Like I said, millionaires, multimillionaires,
It's real, you're never gonna be.
are on a whole different scale. Because of inflation, most of us nowadays
You'll be dead
will
before
make
that
more than
happens.
$1 million throughout our lifetime. I know, it might sound weird, but it's definitely...
Dude, people think, oh, I would be special, I would be heated, I would make it big. No, you fucking don't. Good for you. You might as well buy a lap to take it around than try to win.
Gonna happen. Depending on
You
your
know?
situation and how lucky you are and how you choose to spend and save and invest your money, you'll be...
Oh, I can work hard enough, I can become a billionaire. What do you work hard enough in? In what?
multi-millionaire too. But as I've mentioned so many times now, millionaires are not the same thing as billionaires, who have 1,000 times more wealth than a millionaire. The ongoing transfer of generational wealth doesn't have to continue to be a vacuum sucking wealth upwards. The vast 1940s to 1960 expansion of America's middle class didn't just happen out of thin air. Advocates for greater equality made it happen. They battled for greater equality. How about we end on a story that I can get behind, about a millionaire who's able to change people's lives without needing to amass so much that he becomes a billionaire. Sadio Mane from Senegal is one of the world's highest paid soccer players according to Forbes in 2024. He's worth over $50 million. So he isn't hurting and definitely is rich, but he seems to really want to give back, even though he's only a multi-millionaire. This is his philosophy. Why would I want 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, or 2 planes? What will these objects do for me and for the world? I was hungry and I had to work in the field. I survived hard times, played football barefooted, I did not have an education, and many other things. But today, with what I earn thanks to football, I can help my people. I built schools, a stadium, we provide clothes, shoes, food for people who are in extreme poverty. In addition, I give 70 euros per month to all people in a very poor region of Senegal, which contributes to their family economy. I do not need to display luxury cars, luxury homes, trips, and even planes. I prefer that my people receive a little of what my life has given me. Now, I'm sure he's not perfect, because no one is. And he probably has a PR team protecting him too. But right now, in this current situation, with what he does, he's a pretty good embodiment of what these other billionaires could do without having to take a huge hit out of their everyday life. After a certain amount of wealth, you have everything you need, and it's about what you can give back to the world, to your community. So back to you, who's watching this video right now and being like, well, what can I do? Well, if you're interested in dismantling this faux free market capitalism or fighting back or something like that, you first need to take control of your own life. It's hard to make change or have the necessary time to think about issues that are bigger than yourself and your daily life when you're trying to figure out how to put food on the table. So first, you have a few things to focus on. Upping your own income as much as you possibly can, paying off debts and reducing your spending, and actually saving and investing your own money. Don't forget also being involved in your community. That can help you in so many different ways. Your local community or online communities. Just have a community that can support you and you can help out as well. It's a lot of give and take. Communities are great, but remember,
I could have that wise up boo. But if I get become a billionaire, that is.
And how you choose to live your life. Ignore others and focus on building up yourself and your own community.
I probably use it bad to my viewers,
so that you can just keep up with the Joneses.
The random people.
I actually made a video about why everyone you know is secretly drowning in debt that you should probably check out. That should be over right here. Once you figure out your own money problems,
let's see if you can figure it big.
bandwidth to come up with solutions for life's greatest questions and problems. Oh, and by the way, before I go, on a more serious note, I am 100% of sound mind, not suicidal, and in great health. If anything does happen to me, like my untimely death, in the near future, well, let's just say it probably wasn't an accident. And that's that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, throw fists in the
What's a
comments,
bomb
and
on
check
the
out my Patreon for
bomb on
early
the
releases,
end?
behind
What
the
the
scenes
fuck?
content, and more.
Don't the people can comfort a billionaire? I want to watch that tomorrow. I could have watched we can watch it after I'm back. Let's watch it. I want to see that. What the fuck this body is going to say? What's going on, NPC? What's up? I just went for a break, so I'm AFK. Yay. That's what our song. A song dying. Is he putting out some new videos? Here we go. Here we go for what? It's surprising this guy is still alive. Well, yeah. Your wise model was going next. I see. I thought I had nice cancellation. Looks like that didn't work. Real. I think it's very possible at this rate. I think it's very possible though. So Republicans are the no sound from the video? Seriously? For how long? Damn, my audio just died. Let's watch it from the start.
Barack Obama had a conversation.
There we go. How come that other day didn't say that?
Barack Obama had a conversation with Stephen Colbert on The Late Show.
There's a debate on what the direction
There we
of
go.
the Democratic
Sweet.
Party should be. It looks like it's going to be a fairly good midterm election for the Democrats. Chance to take the House, if not the Senate. But there's a big debate on what the leadership would be like going forward. Basically, it's liberals versus the left, to be very reductive about it. As my children say to me, Dad, you're a liberal. We're leftists. Because they're like, liberals are people
Stephen Colbert's son might be a Hassan Abi head, it seems. Okay, interesting. Didn't know that.
who think things should basically stay the same. You know what I mean? And the next generation really wants things.
I'm going to be honest with you. I know Obama, for a fact, hates this line of questioning because he considers this to be disparaging of his career, disparaging of his legacy.
Two things I want to say. First, you're right. The Presidential Center is nonpartisan. And the reason I want to mention that is because I'm worried about the Republican Party, not just the Democratic Party. When I was president, people would ask me, well, what change would you like to see in Washington? I'd say, I'd love a loyal opposition. I'd love a Republican.
Oh, God. Okay, Nancy Pelosi. I want a strong Republican Party. No, I want no Republican Party. I'm going to be very honest with you. I want an ineffective, feckless, weak, kind of like the Democratic Party is currently. I want the Republican Party to be like that. I want a Republican Party that is utterly dominated and humiliated in broad daylight.
This guy is insane.
To say that they're voting for a Republican. Okay? That is the reality that I want. I don't understand why liberals still play this song and dance where they're like, no, I want a strong Republican Party and pussy too. How about no Republican Party? I want such a strong party platform for whatever the left flank party is. Doesn't have to be the Democratic Party. It could be whatever you want to call it. Okay. I don't care about, like, I have no party loyalty in general. I just care about policies. I care about advancing the interests of the working class. But let's say in a hypothetical, ridiculous scenario, it's the Democrats order. I want that party platform to be so solid that for generations, people don't even think about voting for the Republican Party. And the Republican Party and its representatives are actively conceding to the demands being made by said party that they look like a shell of what they used to be. That is the future that I want. That is the future that I know we can have.
A party that was conservative in some ways, that
nice.
Didn't agree with me on a whole bunch of stuff, but believed in.
Dude, this, we have one of these guys in Tamil Nadu. In my state, there is one guy that exactly speaks like this. You know, that is one guy, Seaman. His name is Seaman. You should Google it. His energy is almost on par with this guy. I mean, even a higher. Never won a single election, single party. Got obliterated.
I think this is a very clear, different school of thought. If I am to take what he is saying at face value, wrong. Wrong again, Bob. 100% wrong. Okay? Absolutely not. The idea that we are going to find this beautiful, moderate center when we have two different schools of thought, two different ideologies that are constantly competing with one another as even interlocutors in the marketplace of ideas, and that's exactly the golden mean. Bullshit. One, Republicans never operate with that mentality, and that's why they win. Even though they have a toxic agenda, even though they have horrifyingly bad policies, they still win because they never come to the table with concessions in mind. That's number one, okay? Number two, what you are describing is gridlock regardless. That's precisely what people hate about American politics in general. Like, even if this idea was correct, that there was actually like two strong parties and they were just like dishing it out and trying to find the perfect solution, like, no, there's usually one solution that is actually perfect, the one that actually centers the working class. You don't want any opposition to that agenda. I don't want any opposition to that agenda. That opposition is the reason why we couldn't get the public option in the ACA, okay? And that wasn't just a strong Republican Party that opposed it. They did all oppose it. There was also opposition within the ranks of the Democrats. Do-nothing Democrats. Sequence of rotating villains, specifically Joe Lieberman in his circumstance, that destroyed voting for the public option. There were corporate Dems who stood idly by and were excited at the prospect of destroying the public option. It's totally ridiculous.
With respect to Democrats, I'm not as worried about this so-called rift between the left and liberals as you describe it.
You know, the best possible future where you have a true left party and the Republican Party is basically the liberal Democrats. That is a much more productive, much healthier future trajectory for America, where you have a real socialist, communist, leftist, workers party, and then the right flank opposition is the liberals, okay? The liberal Democratic Party that is the current Democratic Party that behaves in the exact feckless way that the current Democratic Party behaves, constantly conciliatory to the demands being made by a much stronger party, okay? That's what I think. We absolutely should not have a fascist, illiberal Republican Party. We should not. The Overton window in a perfect society would shift so far away from the current far-right perspective that it is centered around that the Republican Party would resemble the Democratic Party. Obama unveiling an oligarch-funded shrine to himself and amid everyone in America being fleeced by oligarchs, and almost two on the nose bookend of a presidency that bailed out its Wall Street donors who were throwing millions of Americans out of their homes. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to me that is what's happening.
Who I think is an extraordinary talent. he wants people to be able to afford housing in New York. Well, you know, I would assume liberals in New York want the same thing. And so I don't worry as much about some of these issues within the Democratic Party. What I'm more interested in for Democrats.
You only get away with saying something like this because in the United States of America, there is no political education. There is a real rift between the left and liberals. And that rift exists on not just the methods, but the ultimate goals as well. The left.
I think that's also, he's kind of right, because the left's actually well somewhat politically educated, and then they think the right are fucking retarded. You know? And then the right thinks the left is retarded. At the same time, they're both getting retarded.
Broadly starting.
You know, it's so interesting. Like, left thinks the right is dumb Nazis, right? But the right thinks, like, as the world, like, his mentality is like everybody that's in the left is just woke DEI, you know? They're dumb people.
States of America adjusted to the current understanding of
like,
American
it's so
politics.
hilarious to look at this from a third-person perspective.
I know a lot of people are going to get mad at me. They're going to say that's not an anti-capitalist opinion. In the United States of America, it gets treated like it's communism. I'm sorry. Okay. And it ranges from social democracy all the way to full-blown anti-capitalism, you know, Maoist third worldists, Marxist Leninists, anarchists, right? All of this stuff. For the most part, these guys are seen as unbelievable radicals. One of the greatest examples of this is Zohran Mamdani, who was a democratic socialist, but his platform that he ran on to become mayor of New York was modest social democracy. Bernie Sanders is another great example of this. Like, none of these guys are actually advocating to seize the means of production. They're operating within the framework of bourgeois liberal democracy, liberal capitalist democracy, and in many respects, they're trying to pull politics to a more sensible perspective, okay? That's what they're doing, because adjusted to the mass politics of the United States of America currently, even that stuff is seen as radical by the media and obviously our oligarchs that consider any kind of erosion of their profit margins to be the most untenable reality. But there is a significant difference there. I guess the easiest to understand significant difference is this. Are you willing to hurt profits or not? Are you willing to target profit centers or not? Even social democrats who want modest regulation on unchecked, unfettered capitalism will still say, yes, we should actually erode profits a little bit. I'll give you an example. When it comes to housing, even social democrats recognize that the housing bubble has to pop, right? Many social democrats still recognize the housing bubble needs to pop. This means that the existing inventory of housing that is treated as a speculatory asset, even though it's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be homes for people to live in, will actually reduce in value, okay? Liberals, by and large, do not believe in this. The Democratic Party, as a national party, will never get on board with this agenda unless we force them to. And it's not just housing either. This is just one example that I'm using. Liberals, for the most part, do not want to harm profit at all. Social democrats and the broad left, social democrats being the furthest right of the leftist movement, still are comfortable or outright demand a reduction in profits. If you put profits over the interests of people, you are a liberal and you are closer to the right, in my opinion, than you are to the left. So that's a big difference. That's a big ideological difference. We can use vague generalities all day, every day to say everyone has the same interest. Everyone has the same interest. Okay, Republicans have the same interest too then. After all, the reality of the matter.
But your profit is fundamentally capitalism if you think about it in that perspective, and capitalism is aligned with the liberals, I think. Liberals are the ones that they're supporting capitalism, I think. I might be wrong on that one. But yeah, I think the profit, my concern is also that too. You need to erode profits of these people, like the millionaires and then the people that are controlling houses, so normal people can even afford that fucking thing. You know, why the fuck that became a business style opportunity? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Everyone wants
You know?
what's best for their countrymen, right? Like the Republicans aren't literally saying, oh, we want to like cordon off undocumented migrants and like drop them into concentration camps overseas because we want what's worse for America. Although the outcomes are worse for America overall, it's unbelievably violent, it's heinous, it's rude to say the least. But they're saying that because they think that's the best possible way to, make a better America, right? Make America great again. So technically, everyone wants what's best, but we just simply have a disagreement on the methods of arriving at what's best. You can say that, you can extend that to all the way to the MAGA movement.
Do you know how to just talk to regular people like we're not in a college seminar, right? Can you talk plain English to folks about...
I think that's one of the powers that Mamdani has.
That's correct.
Is that he also, not only does he talk like a normal person, but he lives a normal life, but he names what is obviously wrong.
Yes.
And he goes, we should change that thing.
That doesn't make any sense, and not have a bunch of gobbledygook around it. And so what I'm looking for...
Is there a strict no gobbledygook?
No gobbledygook.
Here at you should carve that into the wall somewhere of the Obama Center.
You know what?
No gobbledygook. Just talk.
The building's not completed. I think I'm going to put that somewhere. I'm going to carve it into...
Yvonne Cloud, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does. It does. Like using technical language or academic rhetoric is poison for a mass politics, any kind of mass politics. So there is truth in that. Except the reason why Barack Obama...
Whenever people won't even recognize what the fuck you were talking about, Drew. Even the more educated people won't be able to recognize what you are trying to say.
Saying that is because he's just, trying to imply that we got to cut it out with the woke or whatever, right? Whatever he believes. He is defending his own version, his own ideology, which is neoliberalism. That's his agenda. That was his agenda of governance. That's what he did when he was the president. I don't disagree that jargon does play a big role in this, right? I try to the best of my ability to make sure that it's as easily understandable as possible, my message, right? When I talk, when I communicate. A lot of people unironically will look to that and say, I'm stupid, or I'm a revisionist, or I don't understand the dense Marxist literature because of the way that I communicate about these issues. I try to debate that worldview into normal, polite conversation. It's really annoying that I get to hear this all the time. It's one of the funniest things I hear from, the true vanguard of the communist revolution in this country, which is, hammer and sickle accounts on Twitter who don't do anything but just chirp online all the time, is the idea that I am a fake radical that utilizes the popularity of Lenin. To me, that's the funniest thing you could possibly say, because the average American either doesn't know who the Lenin is, or assumes he is a terrorist, or possibly like Adolf Hitler, but socialist. The average American doesn't think Lenin is a popular guy. I mean, it's hubris, it's ridiculous, it shows how sheltered and how uneducated Americans are. But it is very funny that people think that in the United States of America in 2026, that Lenin is like an objectively popular figure that I'm actually stealing the shine from. People think Karl Marx is a...
That is a problem right here. The problem he is saying, like right there, Hassan, there is a reason why Seema said that though. He just straight up says Americans are retarded. Like if he tones that down, I think his words will reach many people. The thing he is saying is true. It is true, but I think he shouldn't be saying that. Some things, even if it's true, I think Hassan, I think he could be a political leader in the future. Who knows? But he is putting so many efforts into this. Like, you cannot call them dumb, and then you can win their approval. You see the mentality. But yeah, I think he is better than whatever the fucker that RNG fucker over the city all that is better. This guy is way better. Unless you can reason with him. Yeah.
Dictator that killed
Hassan sounds way more reasonable.
100 quintillion people.
Like, if you sit and then think about what he is trying to say, like in a whole context, I think he is very reasonable. Like, he says exactly he doesn't want to obliterate capitalist companies. At the same time, he doesn't want to completely let go of the Labra store. So he is kind of the middle ground here, even though he's left.
People, okay? That's what.
Yeah. He actually thinks about the consequences and then how to come up with a system and a process. Instead of just, oh, these people are the bad people, that people are the bad people. He's not talking about like that, you know? But he did say the Americans are retarded. I think he should tone down that. As a leader, I mean, he is a leader, like, come on. Yeah, as a political leader, you are involving yourself with a pretty, what do you call it? Intense politics, right? Probably you shouldn't do that.
So
in a sense.
if your mentality is...
That's what one of our leaders in Tamil Nadu did, and then he did never able to win the election. You know, he's not going to stand there in the election. I heard he is not going to do that, but the people he is supporting will not get many tractions because of him calling America's retarded.
So clouded that you think that the average American actually has a positive association with Vladimir Ilyich Ulyanov, the dragon that is Lenin, the revolutionary, then you're lost in the sauce. Go talk to some real people, please. Now let's get back to Barack Hussein Obama.
Some of the granite out here.
Sure.
No gobbledygook. Just talk like normal people talk. You know what? Like, the rent's too high. We need to make the rent lower for people.
All right. Earlier this year, you said of aliens,
yes,
quote, they're real, but I haven't seen them. Then you tried to walk it back the next day. You know no one believed.
God damn it, Steven. Come on. This was supposed to be a productive conversation. Ugh. And then we move on to aliens? Really? You're talking to the former president, the most popular Democrat in the country, okay? You have an opportunity to hear a little bit more about the distinction between the left and liberalism from his perspective. It's not anything that we haven't heard before from Barack Obama, obviously, but...
And pussy too.
And that too, obviously. But like, even then, I would like to have him elaborate a little bit on this.
What is that soundboard, dude?
And not like, aliens or whatever. I don't even care to listen to the rest of this conversation. I don't care about the alien. Real question, is Zoran more popular than Obama at this point? Probably not, but close? No, not even remotely close. Are you crazy? No. Amongst Democrats? No. Barack Obama is the #1 guy. Okay? Across the board, I would say Bernie Sanders is probably the most popular politician in the country still to this day. But no, Zoran Mamdani is too green, too young, too new for most Americans to have a positive or even negative association with him. He is a very popular figure, and he's certainly very popular in New York City. That popularity is obviously going to go away. He's not the most popular anymore. Last message. Wait, Barack Obama's not. He is the most popular Democrat, I would say. Barack Obama is the most popular Democrat, unless something has changed. I'm pretty sure he is. Bernie, even after his pro-Israel, anti-gun control bullshit, first of all, to the average American's perspective, Bernie Sanders is not pro-Israel, even if he technically is. Again, what do I always say? You have to understand what the average person thinks. If you were to tell the average person...
I don't know who the fuck Americans are fighting. Why did these guys need guns? I don't get it. What do you need guns for? What are you fighting? Is there an alien invasion happening there or something? You running around carrying gun? I think the school shootings didn't teach them anything, I guess.
Bernie Sanders...
If that shit like that happen in my state, guns are banned. GG. Instantly. It's already banned here, but still.
Is pro-Israel. He's a liberal Zionist. They'd be like, what are you talking about? And secondly, his anti-gun control...
That's not freedom, dude. That's a fucking terrorist. Dude, they love fucking doing some really wacky shit. All that isn't that. In the name of freedom. In the name of freedom, I'm going to freaking bomb Hiroshima and Nagasaki to the Stone Age. In the name of freedom, I'm going to give everybody a gun. Hell yeah. What the fuck are they doing then?
Reason why he's much more popular across the board. YouGov has Obama, the Arnold, and then Bernie.
Any leader in that country can have a gun. Like, what the fuck? Who thought that was a good idea?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Maybe you could have a taser. If you want to get rid of someone, and like, you can just have a taser or something. You could legalize that. non-lethal basil would be fine.
Barack Obama, his popularity is at 54%. Arnold Schwarzenegger at 54% as well. Bernie Sanders at 49%. Oh my God. Kamala Harris at 45%. That's insane. Joe Biden, 45. Elizabeth Warren, 41. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, 41. Zohran Mamdani, 40%. Hillary Clinton, 38. Charlie Kirk, 36%. Tim Walz, 37%. This is from The New Yorker. Barack Obama's popularity is immense. A Gallup survey last year found that he was seen favorably by 96% of Democrats, leaving some to wonder why he isn't doing more to counter Trump's assault on democracy. Yeah, some is me. I'm the guy. I'm some of the people. Now, I'm not totally wondering why. I have my opinions on it. I won't elaborate. More people should be asking that question of Barack Obama. Why aren't you doing something? Anything, please. In a perfect world, Barack Obama would literally lean into the left populist movement and do everything in his power to prop up people like Zohran Mamdani. He'd be going to Philadelphia and hanging out with Chris Rabb and promoting him in this plus 43, the bluest district in the country. He would be leaning heavily into the insurgent campaigns that are taking shape all around the country. And he would be associating himself with this growing movement. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but that's what would happen in a perfect world, right? I do not want Obama anywhere near DSA members. Thank you very much. Brother, buddy. The goal of the DSA is to not only win power, but also to boost membership so that we can instill class consciousness among Americans and also engage them with political education. Buddy, Barack Obama is the most popular Democrat in the country. That's why I didn't have any criticisms for Zohran Mamdani aligning with Barack Obama. That's why I said it was a good thing. Okay, what is your job? Your username literally says join your local DSA, and you're over here gatekeeping people joining DSA. I know people will say, Hassan, here you go again. You are pro-American empire. No, I'm just a realistic person who understands how the average American's viewpoint is on these sorts of issues, okay? Obviously, it's never going to happen regardless, so you guys don't have to worry about it. And I know there have been there's been so much discourse, so much back and forth on this. Like, if your goal is to win national politics today when we have developed no real power and can only work with liberals, then this argument makes sense. I shouldn't have to explain how ridiculous thinking from that framework is. I'm prepared for a 20-year struggle, legal and illegal, electoral and not electoral. Okay. Until a third party isn't an idea, but the material reality we have created with our own hands. People unwilling to engage in such a project shouldn't be considered a part of the communist movement, and we should ignore their thoughts on what we should be doing. I think people should ignore my thoughts. If you're building a third party movement, great, fantastic. Okay. When you build it, I will be there. Okay. A lot of people yell at me and say, Hassan, you're not building the third party movement. You should be the one building the third party movement. And to them, I say we have different methods because we have a very different assessment. We have a very different assessment on what the current realities look like for mass politics in this country. Okay. I've seen the average American. I've heard the average American's perspective on communism, on socialism, on Marxism, on Marxist-Leninism. Okay. And the only reason why that perspective has changed dramatically since prior to 2015, prior to 2016, is because Bernie Sanders said he was a socialist and ran for president and ran against a corrupt elite establishment figure like Hillary Rodham Clinton. Because if Bernie Sanders was running against Barack Obama, he would not have achieved the same level of success that he did. Let's be real, because Barack Obama was charismatic. He was also seen as an insurgent figure as well when he ran against Hillary Rodham Clinton as well. The chatter's trying to jump to 0.5 in the plane, and the country hasn't even gotten off the ground. Yes, so that is the reality. I'm not saying, vote for Democrats, libers, okay? Do what you want. But right now, I see the biggest hurdle against building a working class movement or a working class party, the lack of class consciousness in this country, is a direct byproduct of hundreds of years of Red Scare propaganda. If you know anything about me, you know that I am not shy about being called a communist, okay? I don't care. Yeah, sure, whatever.
I mean, but see the problem that people are not very politically conscious in there. But calling them retarded is not gonna help, dude. Come on.
Who cares? I'm not like
calling them retarded for that is not gonna help that if whatsoever. I mean, I do the same, but that's the problem with kind of smarter people. They just hate dumber people and then call them out like they're dumb,
One of the
Nobody wants to hear that they are dumb. But if you want to win over them, that's your objective. If that's your objective, then probably calling them dumb is not a good idea.
These, anti-communist Euro-socialists. I'm not one of those people at all. But I also...
But if you're fighting against them, then you can call them dumb, Like this dumb aspect, if he says right-wing people are dumb, I think it might work.
I'm very cognizant.
Instead of calling all the Americans are dumb and America is like I think he basically said a retarded country, right? But bossy of him to say that, but I'm not sure.
The hurdles.
He's American, right? Like Hassan is an American, I assume.
Remain in front of people even recognizing their own socialist tendencies. Sometimes you have to reduce the language down to its bare bones. Class contradictions heightening is an important factor. It's not just coming from politicians, yes, but if there's no organizational capacity, it doesn't matter if class contradictions worsen, because you can't take advantage of the revolutionary potential of the masses if there is just class consciousness, or without class consciousness, just class contradictions in and of itself will not magically cause people to start recognizing their class position. It actually leads to a tremendous amount of lumpenproles, as a matter of fact, as we've seen over and over again. The average guy living in a trailer park should be a self-described communist if that was the case. Why is that not the case currently? Think about that. Why is it that there are so many people living in the United States of America barely making ends meet, very frustrated the way things go, and yet they turn around and they vote for reactionary politicians. They vote for fascism in this country, even if that fascist politician will end up killing those people at the end of the day. Why do they do that? Because they don't have class consciousness, because there is no real organization that they can see themselves as a part of.
True. He knows what he's dying about. Very interesting. I think it's more about the net. Reasonable person than the other guy. Our Baldi. Baldi is just a grifter. Like, he just talks about the parties because that's what it gets him views now. It's just a drama for me channel now. So, this guy is just completely into this.
With your ongoing data gathering between Twitch and YouTube, are you finding one more enjoyable or fulfilling so far? Great question, genuinely. YouTube is great for protecting your mental health against the audience. YouTube is good for creating work that remains viable and valuable when you aren't there. You can leave YouTube for a month or two and you will still have residual income generated from the videos you've made. If you leave Twitch for a month or two, you will see a huge amount of your income drop down to essentially zero. It is very, very dangerous to do that. Twitch is great because I get to talk to you guys immediately, I get to interact with you, we get to hang out together, which I genuinely do actually like.
I think it's a better option to you too if you already have a community, which I barely have.
I get to work at my own pace and create work.
But it's more of, I kind of like to do like a back and forth interaction because that's what I did before. But YouTube is your primary. I think he is right about that.
The problem with that is YouTube ends up being slightly more lonely, but you are rewarded with long-term dividends and effectively valuable, a valuable like portfolio of work you have created. It's evergreen content. Are YouTube streams not profitable? YouTube streaming is not very good, genuinely. The reason that YouTube streaming is not very good is because most people that subscribe on YouTube want specific, long edited videos. So Twitch is great if you want to have a community that you interact with often. YouTube is great if you want to have a bank of work that you are able to engage with and allow to exist outside of your individual day-to-day work, if you will.
I'm gonna go to be after this video.
People have all said to me
sleep tomorrow. I don't know what the hell. Oh, the work DEA game. I can play that.
Twitch. I wouldn't
I want to
necessarily
see if
say
that
it's a
game is good or
pipeline,
not.
but I would say that there is an appeal to one if you do the other for a lot. YouTube makes more money
Därför jag ser
and is more
stable.
stable. In the kind of mid-range. I don't mean when you get to like the ultra, you know, very, very top kind of thing. At that point, it's pretty much just going to be whoever's got the most fans. So many people have messaged me and so many people have left comments on the Josh Drive Says channel saying he's just switched over to Twitch because it makes more money and is easier. Honestly, both those are incorrect. It makes less money and it's more mentally draining. However, it's different, which was important to me for a bit. It was important to be able to see and understand what the differences were so I could make an informed choice kind of moving forward to see what else we're doing. What about 60% Twitch and 40% YouTube? If you split it down, you don't have enough hours to do both of them really well. And there is a reason. Use Q2, it's better. No. And there is a reason that you don't see a lot of full-time YouTubers also being full-time Twitch streamers. It's kind of like, do you want to do one thing really well, or do you want to do two things kind of badly? And if you do two things kind of badly, you end up harming yourself. Never half-arse two things. Whole-arse one thing. That's what we should be doing instead. So people have said to me, oh, why don't you just do like 3 days of YouTube and 3 days of Twitch? Okay, cool. So 1 day off a week, that's going to get quite mentally draining. But if I do 3 days of YouTube and 3 days of Twitch, we're not streaming enough to build up a solid, reliable Twitch community, and we're not putting enough time into YouTube to release at least one video a month. At that point, we are harming both of those choices. So it's fun to do both of them, but if you want to really succeed, you kind of have to just choose one of them and go for it, which I think is, honestly, it's safer long term. But here's the interesting thing that I've seen. Everyone who's left a YouTube comment basically saying, oh, I know exactly why he's doing this, is not someone who also does YouTube or Twitch. It's normally just viewers who say, oh, I know exactly what's going on, don't worry. No, you don't. How long does it take to make a video, gameplay capture included? Between 2 to 3 weeks if I just work 6 to 8 hours a day on it. Josh, maybe it's time to get some help. I have had this conversation so many times, but I will have it again because you haven't had the conversation before and you need to understand why I've had it so many times. The amount of time it would take for me to explain to an editor what I need them to do and what footage relates to what part of the script. It would take me so long and there would be so much back and forth and there would be so much double checking with everything that it would straight up be quicker for me to just do it myself. I would have to send an editor 1 to 150 hours, well, 100 to 150 hours of footage. I would have to send an editor hundreds of hours of footage. I would have to send them my script, I'd have to send them the notes, I'd have to send them the voiceover, and the amount of time it would take that editor to edit the video in the way that I want it edited, and the amount of back and forth it would have to go through, and the amount of revisions and changes and updates, it is just quicker to do it myself. Now,
all of funny people still play this game, dude. This looks like so boring. This looks extremely boring to look at.
Somewhere I say, oh yes, and then I fight the demon and this happens. I would then have to find the exact moment when that fight happens.
This is, by the way, his name is Josh. This is like his.
It's a huge amount of work.
He gör MMO videos about that's the random stuff. Viva, hello, welcome. How are you doing? What's your day?
They would need to do their job correctly. And I would want an editor to do the job correctly. Of course I would. Just pay them with exposure. Ah, yes. That old chestnut. There's people that have done creative kind of work before. Would it be like something you invest in once with the editor and it progressively becomes less and less time you need to invest and use them if they stay on, like if you had one, invest in the editor? I mean, potentially hacks, but let's say that you're editing and I send you all the stuff, all this, all of that, all the other. Unless you can edit it in a week, I could edit it in a week. And if I'm paying you fairly and it takes you 3 weeks to a month to edit, if I'm going to be fair, am then paying between £1,000 to £2,000 per video. So you have to also weigh up how much time is this going to take me, how much time is this going to take an editor. I don't mind editing. Genuinely, I don't mind doing it. It's a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but I don't mind doing it because the time that I can save is, at that point, honestly kind of worth it. I have worked with editors before, and it's always difficult and different because then, let's say that an editor sends me a full edited video back. I then have to watch the entire thing.
Your voice is good, super.
Then I have to send it back with notes. Then they have to send it back with, hey, here's how we've changed it. Then I have to watch it again and send it back with notes. They're like, hey, here's how we've changed it.
Sad to say, where I guess while the game might look boring, while the mess really good, but they might be interested to land that. True.
Why am I not just editing it? If I'm putting that much back and forth into the process, why am I not just doing it? But I think one of the biggest things to me is that when I'm editing something myself directly, I actually find it a lot easier to do. Why am I always washed out in the webcam? Because the lighting in this room isn't very good. If I were to say, okay, cool, let's take Tenchu 2. I finished Tenchu 2, I sent it to an editor. The editor wasn't able, unfortunately, to get it back to me in time because stuff happened in their own life. I totally understand. But I then had to edit that video as quickly as I could, but I couldn't remember where things happened in the game. If I edit my videos the moment after creating them, all of the events of the video
He has a habit of saying... This guy has a habit of saying the same thing but with a lot of words, dude. Good lord. I can see how he is able to drag his stream this long by talking, but he doesn't move on with his topics fast enough. You guys see this, right? Like, Jesus. Laura, but it makes it so. What is that? Holy shit. Green lipstick, who is this, dude? Wow, God. Oh, I gotta change that title. I'll just stick with it. It's way more clearer for me, but I think it sounds a bit low quality. I haven't put any effort to find a better model. Gooning crisis. Alright, I'm gonna cut it today and then come back tomorrow. Thank you so much for dropping by. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, do all the thing. And hope you guys have an amazing day. I will catch you guys tomorrow with a new game. And then we can check it out and then talk about it and then have some fun. Bye-bye. Thank you. See you on the next one. Have a good rest. Have a good day. Bye-bye.